You don't have to have it all together, but you just have to start. Okay, we're gonna get right into these questions. Second consecutive week of recording. We're gonna be on our path to getting up to 50 to 100 pieces of content per week. I recorded 15 questions last week with over an hour's worth of coverage. And honestly, if I were to break it up into any short form pieces, it really came out to like 5 or 6. The rest was me rambling, doubting myself, self-sabotaging, and having a lot of filler and not really planning out. So now that I'm getting this process down, or taking the steps to get this process down, it's getting a little easier. I even equipped myself with getting the questions ready last night. I think I'm starting to see a trend, or starting to see more of a reoccurring theme on who I'm speaking to. But honestly, I do know that I want to help people. I do know that I want to communicate and get better at communicating without having a script, doing it off the cuff, and just being honest, right? And I think a bigger part of me doubting myself is because I don't have it together and I don't have it organized. And I'm worried that someone's gonna call me out on not being organized, but realistically, I just gotta come and I just gotta do it. So I'm gonna get straight into the questions. If you're curious on what I'm doing right now, I'm here at Quiet Storm, also known as Cigars on 5th in Hillcrest, San Diego. And on the weekend mornings, I wake up at 3:30 a.m. and I bake the pastries at the cafe for the day. Right now here I have gluten-free and vegan chocolate coconut banana muffins. I usually do these first because we do not want to cross-contaminate with any of the other ingredients. So I have my other banana breads ready back there. I have some pumpkin muffins coming. I have pumpkin cream muffins. And I also have blueberry muffins, and we're also gonna bake some cookies too. But yeah, right now I'm just making sure that as I mix with this spatula, I'm incorporating, not over mixing, so just being gentle with it, folding and making sure that all of the dry ingredients are incorporated with the wet. No one likes to bite into a muffin and then you taste the texture of flour. But yeah, I mean, it feels a lot better getting on camera today. We're calm, I took some deep breaths, and here we are. I asked my AI that I've been fueling and pumping with what it needs to know about me until, we can get to a point where we have live questions. We have people on the phone here with me asking, but I know I don't have too many resources yet when it comes to production. I just got this camera, I got these DJI mics, and I have the world of Wi-Fi. So I'm able to utilize that, throw it into the generator, and have it spit out some questions on what I think may be able to help out some people based on my 17 years of experience as a breaker, 5 years as a business operator, and someone that's just trying to do it as a father, as a husband, as a provider. I think this is good. Before we move on, let's rinse off this spatula and then work on the regular banana bread. Then shortly after, we'll do the chocolate walnut banana bread. After that, we'll get into the muffins and then cookies last. But let's wash this off. This is the unfiltered version. I was so hesitant on posting last week's because I'm so nervous in that one. And it's funny because I was speaking to my crewmate from one of my breaking crews, like an older brother to me. His name's Peter, but he was talking to me about how, he's surprised that I have a hard time talking on camera and talking over the phone. But I mean, yes, for the last 5 years I've been trying to get in front of the camera. I've had so many videos, so many recordings, almost just like this, just without the mic. And I just deleted them because I got nervous. I got worried that I was going to get called out for being either hypocritical, not having it together, being all over the place, having, contradicting thoughts, and I just never ended up posting it. I was too nervous and just self-sabotaged my ability to hopefully reach someone. But I mean, I guess I'm here now, And now that I'm learning more about my nervous system, how that operates in your body, how that can, lead you to self-sabotage, and now acknowledging its functions and looking online, watching people like Jamie C, listening to my crewmate, and now applying more of my personal experience as a business builder and as a dad, and trying to leave the best footprint for my daughter. Because I know at some point, as long as this stands on the internet, I would imagine she'd find this video, or she'd find these series of videos and see my growth. And that's essentially, one of the core reasons I'm doing this. Because really, if this social media thing wasn't so much a thing, I wouldn't really want to post. I just kind of want to work, just kind of want to break, hang out with family. But because I know that this has an opportunity where I can help a lot of people, where I can speak to a lot of people, use this as my megaphone at an underpriced cost to benefit my business, sure, I'll do it. Sure, I'll pay the cost of entry to learn. And yeah, man, it just feels awkward, but I'm getting better at talking to you because I know at some point, post-edit, and once this is published, you're literally listening to this. So my daughter, you don't have to have it all together. You just have to start. And I believe you can do it, whether you're 5 years old watching this, whether you're 16, or have multiple kids in the future. You guys just have to start. You just have to. And the beginning, you're going to feel lonely, you're going to feel isolated, you're going to feel misunderstood. And that's because we don't have the resources that you'll have when you're 5 to 10 years deep into it. You just have to start. It's the name of the game. And I'm literally here at 3:30 in the morning while you're sleeping. And I'd like to sleep and cuddle in bed with you. But it is what it is. I gotta work, and in order for us to get to that next stage of life, we gotta hustle strategically, we gotta do it smart, and we gotta do it consistently. Just gotta show up. I would love to be at home with you. But okay, now that I'm getting the groove of this, I think we are good to pull up those questions and move on. Let's get it. Got my Surface. I've always been like a MacBook person, but once I got into the heavier workloads of the insurance world, I ended up getting a Surface Pro. It's faster with, data entry. It's faster with these insurance agency management systems, and it operates a lot cleaner than my MacBook does, and faster. Okay, so we got the gluten-free and vegan chocolate coconut banana muffins. We'll keep those isolated. We have the regular banana bread over here. And now let's mix up the chocolate walnut banana bread. After that, we're gonna put them into the tin pans. All right, question number 1. How did your B-Boy crews support back in the day give you strength to keep pushing as a cafe owner? Well, I feel my B-Boy crew's support, I'm in 3 different crews, and I've gotten involved with multiple roots of chosen family. So, if I'm to name a few, I have Uncomfortably Fresh, I have California crew, I have Underground Flow crew, UFC B-Boys, and I don't want to say that they're side projects because they're not. They were very important pieces in my life, and those are being involved with groups like IGS&P. Who else is there? Cal State Long Beach Breakers, CSULB B-Boys. Yeah, Long Beach. Shit. Fire. I'm really proud of you guys, by the way. Seeing the way Izzy, Murrow, Jason, Dom, everyone, Braxton, everyone who has just evolved into just being like a complete and on their way adult, and this goes across all the crews, honestly. I'm very proud of you guys. I'm very proud of us on how far we've made it with the resources that we've had. Not to say that we had limited resources, we had each other's backs. We had each other's backs even in times when we were growing and we were going through weird, funky stuff, weird transition, puberty stuff, learning more about ourselves, and we still stood next to each other when it came to being in the cypher, when it came to being in the circle. So whether you're in any of my crews, Uncomfortably Fresh, California, Underground Flow, Cal State Long Beach, Beach Street, you know, UFC B-boys, through all the different adversities we were going through at that time. I'll never take for granted any of those memories. So shout out to you guys for helping mold me into the man I am today, just by you being you. So that means a lot. That's crew love for sure. And yeah, I got so many chosen family from the breaking world, but I mean, being in proximity to other competing breakers, knowing that there's another competition the following week, another jam, you know, and whether you didn't pass prelims the next week or that week, or you won the competition the following week, it's just like sales, right? You can hit 5 policies sold, you can hit 8 to 10 policies sold in a single day for your insurance company, or you can sell $2,000 to $3,000 worth of, you know, products and get that in revenue at the end of the cafe day. But then the next day you're back at zero. And you know, that's just like the name of the game of breaking as a competitor, and being in competition with yourself. The next day you're back at zero. And being able to learn that at such a young age, because I started breaking when I was 12 years old, that, you know, you're just as good as your last at bat. You're just as good as the last day, but then the next day you're back at zero. So you got to do everything you can to climb up, either build systems and resources to establish yourself to get more leverage than the day before. So then, you know, if you're hitting, you know, getting 3 jams that you win in 1 month, what systems, what people do you have to meet, what types of training do you have to, you know, get into? So then that turns into 3 wins that you get in 1 weekend, and you do that multiple weekends. And you know, same goes across for sales at your insurance company, or goes for sales at your cafe, your food service facility, whatever the case is. But I think you guys know what I mean. Having that B-boy crew support gave me the strength to keep going, even when the scoreboard would say 0 the next day, and just doing it for the love for the game, and being in competition with yourself, being in competition with others in a healthy way. That support was everything. Okay, let's actually not put these in yet. Let's do the gluten-free and vegan chocolate coconut banana muffins. Cupcake liners. All right, question 2. What's one hip-hop principle, like freestyling under pressure, that helps you run my insurance agency? Well, I mean, active listening is everything. You can't just get on a sales call and not have a plan, right? It's not that you have to run by the script, right? You don't just go into the cipher. You don't just go into, you know, the competition with a script. Because, I mean, if you did, you're going to look like a robot. Some people operate solely off of, you know, pre-rehearsed sets. That's fine. Do you. But my thing, in order to freestyle, you need to be able to know your alphabet, to know your foundation, to know the A, B's, and C's of breaking, and know the ABCs of your breaking, so then you can freestyle, right? If I went in willy-nilly, like, sure, something's going to happen. I'll let the music move me. But at least I set that one piece in place, and the music is gonna move me. I'm gonna lead by music. And what the fuck am I doing? No, I just scooped them into the cupcake liner. I'm talking about breaking, multitasking, brains in multiple places. That's fine. But I think you know what I mean. At least have a plan that you're gonna freestyle, and pick one piece, right? If I'm on a sales call, then first priority is I'm active listening, right? I can't just tell them what the products are, what the insurance is, because they don't care. If you're not, you know, if you're not catering to what their situation is, then you could just be running a script and they're gonna hang up. And it's easy as that. You know, you have to be able to hear where they're coming from, see what stopped them from buying insurance before, or what's prevented them, and you know what their real reason of procrastinating is. Because if you get on a call and you do your discovery, but you don't figure out how to dig your way out of there, or how to leverage yourself in the situation to get them to buy, you could be asking, you know, when was the last time you paid for your auto insurance? They say 5 months ago, and it's like, okay, 5 months ago. Yeah, and then clearly, if it's been 5 months ago, their registration has to be suspended, or they don't even have the DMV registration on that vehicle. Then you ask the next question, okay, so just to make sure, are you looking to get this done today? If they say yes, cool, but you really gotta uncover why, out of these 5 months that they've had a car, why all of a sudden they're gonna make the change. Because you would imagine, you know, if they've had this car, they've already gotten on insurance calls, they've already spoken to other agents. So I mean, if you're gonna say, because a lot of us, you know, insurance producers are working with really similar resources, like we have similar insurance carriers, we're gonna pull up the same quote, and it may be a $5 to $13 discrepancy, sometimes $20, but it's like, what if you're over the other price? So why are they gonna pick you, and why now? Like, so you have to discover, well, if it's been 5 months since you last had insurance, why would you even, you know, do this now? I can deliver you a quote. I can purchase the motor vehicle record, which definitely qualify them first before buying all the motor vehicle records, or that's just gonna cut into, you know, the cost of your insurance, and that's gonna suck. Then you gotta sell even higher, which is cool, but you want the most margin as possible. So, let's see here. Let's focus on some coconuts. You gotta go in with a plan. You absolutely have to go in with a plan. Let's just go back to that. You can freestyle, but at least specify the one thing you're gonna do, right? Is this, when I speak in breaking language, right? I have, if this is a 5-round battle and it's a one-on-one or it's an exhibition, right? I normally have my pace setting round, and this, you can actually do this for a crew battle of 5 people, right? Credits to B-Boy Y-Rock, my first teacher, my brother, crewmate of Uncomfortably Fresh, and book author of the Book of 5 Ciphers. You'll have 1, your pace setter. 2, it's interchangeable, but this is my thing. Some people think otherwise. You have your round winner, or momentum builder. You have your round winner, and then you also have your bomb, and you have your seal the deal guy. And following that particular order, again, 1, if it's a 5-round battle and I'm by myself, of course I'm gonna freestyle, but I gotta specify what I'm gonna do in this exhibition. The first round, I'm gonna go in, set the pace, establish my style. It could be quick jabs. A dagger round is also what I've heard them call it. And then 2, I'm gonna build up the momentum. I'm not just gonna do some top rock and footwork. I'll throw in, boom, 1 signature. At least get the crowd going that, oh shit, we're trying to build something. Because at the end, we wanna be able to seal the deal. The desired end result is just to know that we obviously won by far, and we're a more sophisticated, you know, and established and grounded b-boy. From the heart, from the art, down to it all. And, you know, the 3rd round, that's the momentum builder. Just keep it consistent. I'm sorry, the 3rd round, that's the, that's like the non-negotiable. You should always win this round. Do the classics, throw the signatures. This is where, you know, the tension's really, really building. And the 4th round, do the craziest stuff. I like to use that as the bomb. That's the moment where I'm gonna throw, it's okay if my round is short, I'm gonna throw like some of my hardest moves possible, the highest risk ones. Because I mean, if I don't hit it, shit, I already got 3 rounds in the bag because, you know, I set the pace, I built the momentum, and I did my guaranteed round winners. Let's set a timer for this, 5 minutes. We're gonna activate the baking soda. Let it rise after this 5 minutes. Bring it down 1 shelf, and we'll go from there. Now we can bring out these trays. Yeah, but I mean, round 4, momentum's been built up. Guarantee you threw the heaviest rounds you could, or the round 3, you threw your guaranteed round winners. Round 4, this is the time you throw the risky stuff. Yo, if this is like a crazy slam dunk or a crazy alley-oop, if you hit this, crowd's gonna go nuts. If you don't hit it, you already secured 3 rounds in the beginning. And you could probably think about your different crewmates and their skill sets, which I would hope breaking crews these days still have these diverse characters. Just like graffiti. And then let's hide this. I almost got confused. Put this away. Okay. Focus. Let's rinse that scoop. Then round 5, that's your seal the deal one. This is the round that you've been practicing. You know, you've been doing 25 to 50 rounds per, probably 3 times per, probably 3 times in a week at least leading to this battle. But this is the guaranteed round that if you were doing, say, like a prelim round at Silverback Open and you need to make it into the top 32 out of over 1,000 different competitors, what's the round that's going to get you through, right? That's just got to be the goddamn, that's the reason why he's here. That's the reason why he got picked. That's got to be the round that closes everything. And be ready if you go first, and this is my personal taste. If you go first, be ready to go a 6th round. Be ready to go an 8th round. Be ready to go a 10th round. Just because you went first, you don't give a fuck, and just do the damn thing. That's usually my game plan. Again, that all boils down to at least pick one thing you're gonna do, you know, and that's what I do in these insurance calls. I can feel in the beginning, based on hearing the customer, if they're more frugal with their money or limited with their money, or this person, you know, they'd rather trade money for utilizing time and they don't want to shop around and you want to do it for them. You can definitely find deeper pockets there, get more money on your fees. But come in with a plan. You just got to active listen for those sales calls, and that's the same mentality that I carry when I'm breaking. If this is, you know, a tournament battle, I can hear immediately, okay, based on this song, is this going to be a slam dunk round where I have to kill the beats? Or is this like a, god damn it, why did that DJ put that Cypher song in this top 8 battle? I'm hungry. They said Cypher break like 3 times already and it's only the 2nd round. And, you know, yeah, I'll come in with a plan. And you just got to active listen first. And that'll tell you, so then you can freestyle as much as you want. But you just got to come in with the right desired end result. Okay, number 3. When hiring for the cafe, how do you spot someone with the same grit you had as a young breaker? I mean, they show up for themselves. You can hear it in the way that they communicate. You can hear in the way that, you know, they introduce themselves. Because usually when it comes to onboarding an employee, you're going to get probably the best performing self of them in the very beginning. You know, now when it comes to getting a gig here at the cafe, like working here at the cafe or working at the insurance company, you know, for someone like me who's learned all of the skills to operate this place and operate the insurance company, I come from a place of 0 experience. So I'm not too familiar with hiring someone that has a ton of experience. I've more so hired everyone that's had 0 experience, and we've hired based on personality. So I can definitely spot if they're worth working with if they show up for themselves. You can see it in how, you know, they take accountability. I get it, traffic happens. I get it, you know, you're late, your alarm didn't go off. But the way that you show up after that says a lot. Because even me, right? These 3:30 a.m. mornings, they can be really challenging. Some days, some nights, I'm just, let's move it down. Some nights I'm anxious, just thinking about missing my alarm, so then I barely sleep, and I'm just really laying in bed from like 10 to 3, and then getting up because I was half awake the whole time. Okay, that's in there. Let's set a timer for about 25 minutes. This is going to be for gluten-free. Cool. You know, and I'm more than happy to give, well, not happy, but I'm open to giving grace towards those kind of normal daily things. But how you present yourself on a consistent basis, that shows a lot if it's worth working together. And I'm ready to pour into you, you know, with all the experience, even though I don't have everything together, and I'm still very young, you know, I'm more than happy to pour into that individual if they want to work hard, if they want to invest in themselves, if they want to learn. But it really depends on how they show up and, you know, how they perform in terms of integrity. Do they do the things that are right? Are their intentions good when no one's looking? You know, do they challenge themselves on a consistent basis? But if you're not challenging yourself and you're not assessing, or at least reflecting on like why something didn't align, then that's not really who I want to work with. Because you can do all the right work, you can do the work fine, you can get the job done, but if there's no reflection and there's no change and there's no effort of change, then I don't really want to work with anyone that's complacent, that's stagnant. It's not fun, it's not exciting, and there's no journey to that. It's just going to be that the whole time, and I want to grow. I want to grow at a really aggressive rate, but some people are comfortable, and that's fine, but that's not what I want to have in this workplace. We don't want comfort. We want to live and surpass our discomforts for growth. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Let's crush up. How do I stop this from auto-locking? 1130. I also noticed in the last video, I said, you know, as a filler word. Like, I think the AI editor can definitely count how many times I said, you know. But then it didn't. I would put like auto cleanup on the shorter versions, so then it can detect how many filler words, like ums and uhs, but it didn't detect any of the, you know. Obviously you don't know, or you do know what the fuck I'm talking about, so that's funny. Okay. If an employee half-asses a shift, how do you call them out without killing their drive? AI, come on. That's a funny question. If an employee half-asses a shift, how do you call them out without killing their drive? Their drive's already killed. They shouldn't half-ass the shift. And usually just asking them, just like in sales. Zip your mouth, let them do the talking, just ask them what happened, and they'll reveal everything to you. You know, if obviously someone had a week, or, you know, they had a week and now it's turning into like momentum where they're underperforming, yeah, then it's an appropriate time. These are walnuts for the chocolate walnut banana bread. We're gonna top these. We got some chocolate chips. Yeah, I'll just ask them like, yo, dude, what's going on? Because this isn't like you. You know, we brought you here because you're usually like on top of your shit. Is everything okay? And that's when they fill in everything else. They'll fill in the lines on what's going on. And, you know, I trust that everything's gonna get better, but is there anything I can do to help you out? And then, yeah, then they'll let me know. And they usually are self-sufficient. They're smart. These are very smart people I work with. And they're good people. Okay. Let's throw this in. 5-6 minutes on top. Then bring it one shelf down. And let's move on to the next pastries. Sweet. Yeah, just gotta find out what killed their drive in the first place. And, you know, usually they're exhausted or they're burnt out. And then it's a matter of just asking, what do you think they need to do? And they usually have the appropriate answer. Everyone usually knows what you have to do. Just like eating healthy. You don't need to go on a crazy diet. Just don't eat the processed food. Eat clean. Don't eat too late. Don't eat too much. And work out next to it. And just do it again. But people like to overcomplicate things. I overcomplicate things more than I would like. But that's fine. You just gotta start. Right, kids? I'm talking to my kids that are watching this years from now in the future. Or if I have dementia when I'm older and I need to talk to myself. Right, Nico? Okay, let's move on. Man, that sucks how it keeps auto-locking. And I don't want to take the time to do that here. I'll just do this for every question. Okay. What is one simple trick you use to make sure that the caffeine doesn't need you every second? Delegation and having a team. Yeah, and also establishing boundaries. Thankfully, my iPhone microphone speaker is water damaged. And what that has naturally done is it's super hard to get in contact with me. I'm only going to answer the phone if I have like AirPods available or I have like wired headphones available, then yes. But thankfully, and even before that, I mean, all the overwhelm from all the business stuff, I have probably over thousands of messages in my text messages that are unread, whether they're like text campaigns I got brought into from stupid marketing things, or I just don't answer. There's just too much, man. It's difficult. And I know sometimes my family texts me and I don't have the bandwidth to even respond. And hey, if you're listening to this and you're watching this, whether it's on Instagram or YouTube, I love you. It's just hard, man. It's just hard. I'm grateful that I have Tiana, I have my wife to help me out and be like, yo, like answer your sister, answer your cousin. But it's just hard. My brain's overloaded, and this is now the time of my life where I'm trying to limit and reduce everything as much as possible, so then, you know, the work stuff isn't too much and I have the capacity for things that are important, like family, sisters, and all that. But sometimes it just gets too crazy, which is a majority of the time, and I'm like, I can't. I just can't. So let me just focus on what's right in front of me. Okay, let's do the blueberry muffins now. We got some pre-made batter, which is the best thing ever. Fuck yeah. Made on the 20th. What's the date today? 5 days ago. This is like the last day we could use this. And thankfully, I made a brand new batch. Thankfully. Let's do 2 trays worth. And we got some streusel still, correct? Right, guys? You should have streusel. Yes! Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you, Zach. That's going to be the crumble topping on top of this. I'm going to eliminate this glove because I was touching nuts. Walnuts. Touching walnuts. Jeez. Mind out of the gutter. Okay. How did you decide which menu item, like your banana bread, would become your moneymaker when it didn't stop selling? One of the worst business decisions we ever made when we were running the vape shop was we had a vape flavor that was getting imported called Drops from Jupiter. It was a grape ice nicotine vaporizer, and it sold by the thousands. But what did we decide to do, which was also the pitfall of the rest of the company, was we overexpanded. We got 37 more flavors when obviously that one was selling, right? That and like 3 other ones. We had like the core 4 to 5 that was guaranteed, like, hey, this is gonna be able to pay the bills, grow the business, reinvest into the business, like things are gonna get much easier. Just do this. But we're like, no, let's open a location in Arizona. Let's open a location at the mall. Let's open a location somewhere else. Let's distribute. Let's do this, da 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 da. No, Should have just kept it at the 4 flavors, shaved off everything else that was killing us, and then even like after, I couldn't afford to pay the rent, couldn't afford to keep the business running, the laws changed, and we really, our backs were against the wall. Like, we had to shut this thing down. Like, yes, we have our legal licenses to sell tobacco products or tobacco related products, but like, this isn't enough to pay for a family and pay for the stupid liabilities that we signed up for. Thinking it was gonna grow, we invested only in business expenses, but they were just all the wrong things. Should have just been the one thing. And that's probably one of the biggest things that I've learned is, if you find that one product that sells, just do it again. If you want to double your sales, double it. If you want to quadruple your sales, quadruple your output or quadruple your input. It's simple, but us entrepreneurs, we get so bored. Thank you, Alex Ramosi, for saying that, and putting like a face on it, because we just get so bored, and it's stupid. Just focus on the one thing. Don't get distracted. Like, do 5 years of that one thing that just keeps making money, and don't do anything else. Just focus. But what do? We want something exciting. We want something new. We want to change the pace. We want to add more products. No, just do that one thing really, really good. And just keep testing it in different conditions so you know. And that's just like in braking too. We have a training method that we've been following from that same crew member I was talking about, Peter, aka B-Boy Pearl Harbor. And we call him 50s. It's like when he was living here in San Diego, I was like 16 years old. Him and the rest of the other Uncomfortably Fresh members were essentially like my guardians. At least once per week, we'd pick a move and do it 50 times. Air flares, for example. You want to get air flares? We got to do 50, at least 50 of them, throughout the week. In one session, we'll break it up into 10 total sets, 5 repetitions, give feedback on why, that sequence wasn't working. But for the most part, just do that one thing. I know I probably could have gotten air flares a little earlier, but even still, looking back today, I think I still got them pretty fast. For the resources I had, right? But I still got too distracted. If I wanted air flares, I didn't have to practice all the other crazy variations at the same time. Of course, you got a break for the goals that I had. But let me just... All right, we're good. Woo! Thank you. Perfect. This is the last day for this. Just focus on the one thing, man. Just do the damn one thing. Over and over and over again. Do it in any condition. Practice that one thing when you're tired, when you're hungry, when your judgment is out of whack, so then you can see all the different ways and how you can do it better. Then you can do and continue doing it at your best. Do it when it's hot. Do it when it's cold. And that's just like braking. If you want to do these competition rounds, you got to be ready. Is this jam going to be on a stage? Is it going to be at a local studio? Is it going to be at, a farmer's market on some cardboard that's like soaked and damped? Or some like weird ballroom floor? Is it going to be on linoleum? How do you be the best at braking on linoleum? You do it in every single condition possible. Is it going to be in someone's weird garage? I've been in some weird jams. I even did a jam back in 2011 that was in a cage. It was literally called King of the Cage. And they had us breaking in within a fenced area. It's kind of weird. Jeez, so close to winning that one, but whatever. I was young. Let's rinse this off and get more muffins. Yeah, do 50 air flares is what I'm saying. That one trick. Do it as many times as possible. Track it. lose as many times as possible so you can figure out how to win. That's pretty good. Lose as many times as possible so you can figure out how to win as many times as possible. Okay. Alright, let's look at this again. Damn auto lock. Okay. As a dad, what's one... Well, let's turn this timer on. We should put this in for 23 minutes, the banana breads. Cool. Okay. As a dad, what's one sacrifice you make daily to provide for your daughter without losing yourself? I mean, I don't think I'm lost anymore. I was super lost before my daughter got here. I was way more uncertain than I was today. I was definitely self-sabotaging myself of self-doubt. You know, survivor's guilt from everything I went through as a kid. Survivor's guilt of like making it this far into business and seeing where, you know, some of my peers that I really care about are, and I just got plateaued and just stayed in one weird funky area. In 2021, 2022, towards the end, I ended up calling the suicide hotline because I was just going so deep in a funk. The workload was just so much and it wasn't aligned with where I was and who I wanted to be, nor did I know what I wanted to be. I wanted to be this pro b-boy, but I wanted to be this business person, and it just got so foggy having nonstop work follow me every single day now that I signed up for these businesses. And you know, I felt like I wasn't contributing any value because I didn't know what resources I needed to get. I didn't know what I needed to learn, and it almost felt so worthless. That idea of what I had of myself, it just kept going for a series of like, you know, 6 to 8 months that I considered doing things that wouldn't allow me to be here and I wouldn't be able to get blessed with my daughter. So I'm definitely not lost because I've been found ever since my baby was born. The concept of having a baby, the concept of providing for my wife, and the concept of providing for my daughter, that's what helped me find myself. And I just needed to be that person. I'm grateful to be that person, that I can provide for them. And again, my daughter, if you're watching this in the future, if you don't have it together, that's fine. You just have to start. If you're curious on what equipment I'm using, it's a Sony ZV-E10, and I've been using Adobe Media Encoder to get these files at a smaller size, sufficient for YouTube, and then I throw them into... I don't think I need to throw it into Premiere unless I'm going to do some cleaning up, and hopefully I'm now in a place where I can speak better. I can make these questions and answers more fluid and these responses so fluid that I don't have to have self-doubt and bring it into Premiere Pro. I could just have these questions get prompt ready, throw into the AI editor. Right now I'm using Opus Clip or Opus Pro, I think. It's like 15 bucks. Shout out to the amazing video editors out there. And I was using Roger Visuals, recommended from Kai, and the market price out there is super awesome. Thank you for giving me a discounted rate, but for the quantity that I want to scale at, I'm gonna try to just systemize it so I can save money. And I do know on more detailed projects that need more human touch, more than happy, I'm immediately gonna go to Roger. So thank you for all the help so far, brother. Right now I just gotta do my 50. I just gotta shut my mouth and just fucking do it. Get over myself. Acknowledge myself, in other words. Know why I'm feeling certain ways when it comes to recording or making content. But yeah, this is the time where it's just less talk, more do. Less talk, more do. These are the blueberry muffins. We're gonna set these also on that top shelf for about 5 to 6 minutes, so then the batter can rise. Let's hit that 5-minute timer. Perfect. And looks like the gluten-free and vegan chocolate coconut muffin should be done. And we'll dust off the toasted coconuts that are overly Dust off the overly toasted coconuts that should be sitting on top. Put this here. I can throw away this spoon I used. I'm done with this guy. After this, it's just cleaning. Let's dust off here. We gotta do the stab and make sure it's cooked all the way through. Okay. These are the chocolate coconut banana muffins. Let's put on a glove and then dust off the excess coconut. So we really just want that second layer. There you go. We'll head back over to the questions. Yeah, I'm so glad this switch is happening where it's getting easier to talk to the camera. We'll talk to you, because that was a long season of just not doing it. I'm so grateful to be here. I'm so grateful to talk and have a conversation. Jeez. Okay, I think I did a little too much. Okay, this looks a lot better. These are looking brown golden, baby. Nice. Most importantly, we should check if it's cooked on the inside. Duh. Let's check the middle ones. Hard to tell because the chocolate. I came out clean. Let's stab this side. That's just chocolate. Let's check this one. I think we should go like 2 more minutes. No? No. Trust it. The residual heat, now that it's out of the oven, is gonna cook it. Because if I do that, it's just gonna burn and it's gonna get chewy. Just trust it. Let's push this over here. Just trust it. And throw this away. Okay, and then this next pastry we're going to move on to is the pumpkin cream muffins. Sweet, and we'll monitor that battery life. Make sure stay on top of it. Okay, that looks good. Let's move on to this one. 2 trays of pumpkin cream muffins. Do have to rinse that scoop again too. Okay, this is the time where we should be answering questions. Can you just like scan my face? Okay. How does the focus you learned from 17 years of breaking keep you calm during a slammed cafe shift? Just do it under pressure. The way you treat that single customer, whether you have that single customer and no one behind them, or you have 200 behind them, just treat it the same way. Just like a battle. If you're in a competition and you're in the finals or you're in the semis and they say, okay, you got to do 2 extra rounds compared to your other partner, then just take it 1 round at a time. If you keep thinking about the 4 rounds, Or if you're at practice and someone's like, hey, let's do 50, which is usually me initiating, then don't look at the 50, just do it one time, over and over and over again. Keep it simple. Less talking, more doing. That's it. Less talking, more doing. Okay, let's move those pastries down. These are the blueberry muffins. They have risen. Ooh, actually. And these banana breads look done. Holy crap, that was fast. Ah, they are definitely done. Let's stab it just to make sure. That is done. Let's put that there. Let's grab this one. That needs time. That is not done. I'm feeling doubtful now. Let's check this one. That's good. That's coming out clean. That's weird. Why did that one clearly show it's not done? Okay, I don't know. Baking is gonna be different every day. Just like for any future sales agent that may be working with me at the insurance office, I'm gonna have multiple resources in place, and those resources can be having a live transfer agent in the Philippines dialing out the list of leads that we purchased, seeing, if they can get them on the phone, they'll help out with the qualification of, hey, I see you're looking to get your insurance done. Do you have a couple minutes to talk about that with a licensed agent? We'll have that as a resource. We'll have our text message as a resource. We'll have, your own activity of outbound calls as a resource. I'm paying for the phones, paying for the CRM, and the biggest thing is not to die by the phone. Yes, there's some days where the transfers from the live agent or the transfers from the agent that are going down the list, people will be picking up, and some days they won't. Some days they'll just go straight to voicemail, and the leads and the people that I've purchased for us to have an opportunity to issue insurance with, they've already gone through 2 filters. They've gone through the first filter, which is finding the advertisement, Facebook, TikTok, Google, wherever, for affordable auto insurance. Like, they filled it out. They put in their address, they put in their name, they voluntarily opt into text messages. Like, they're interested, they need the insurance, they communicate that whether they need an SR22 or not, and they go through a second filter, which is that Philippine agent that dials out and says, hello ma'am, sir, are you looking to get your auto insurance started today? If so, do you have a few minutes to go over your quote? Then yes. Again, like I mentioned, sometimes the calls are really hot, the transfers are really hot, and sometimes it's not. But the biggest thing is you can't die by the phone. Like, you have to be resourceful. You have to monitor your output. You have to be proactive and consistent every day. That's weird. Okay. Let me go back to the question. What was one? Oh yeah, how does the focus you learn from 17 years of breaking keep you calm during a slam cafe shift? You just gotta stay consistent. Treat that one person that's in the front of the line the same as you do with the 97th person in line. Have active listening, find out what they need, qualify them, add more, upsell, and give them a great experience. And make them come back. Give them a reason to come back. Okay, just follow the system. What's one small tweak in your cookie recipe that turned them into a customer favorite? I think it was breaking them up and showing that little pad on the bottom like you saw in the videos last week. It's the same ingredients we've always used. We also changed to bread flour rather than all-purpose flour, and the texture's a little better. And what else? I think that's about it. Yeah, the bread flour, and then the method on how we roll the cookies and form them. And we're also freezing them too, which, I don't know, they cook nicer. It's nice to look at. Okay. What's one leadership move from the hip hop community you use to keep your team motivated? Each one teach one. That's it. You just, you know, if someone wants to learn and they're inspired to learn, you just share what you got, you know? Each move you learn, you can teach it too. There's not a place to be selfish. This is a place to be selfish for yourself, right? In terms of growing. But we're also here in a place of abundance too. There's room for everyone to grow. I don't want to work with someone that's plateaued, someone that's comfortable. I want to work with someone that, you know, their back's against the wall, the stakes are high, and they want, ironically, right, they want to take the risk in going beyond their habits, going beyond their belief systems, so they can build a more stable life. It's crazy, huh? You take a risk so you can get stability. But stable growth is what I'm getting at. I find that kind of interesting. Okay, let's move on to the next question. And it auto-locks, gotta type it in. I thought usually that it is just supposed to like track my face and it unlocks whenever I even like touch it, but I guess not. Let's mix this one up. Need a little spatula, or I can use this available knife. That is the timer for the banana breads. Yep, those are cooked. Gotta take them out. These look pretty well done. Very nice. Water! We should drink some water. That glove was hot. 6:54. People should be clocking in 6 minutes. Okay, let's throw these in for about 5 minutes. Ooh, I should have turned on that timer. Let's put 25 minutes for the muffins. Cool, and this one's gonna be 5 minutes. Let's do 6 minutes. Let it rise, and we'll add the cream cheese frosting. Okay, perfect. All right, next question. Hey, we're looking like we're almost done. This is nice. We got this here. Is the speaker on? Okay, cool. And let's take out them cookies. Okay. Wait, hold on. Let me go back to that question. What's one leadership move from the hip hop community you use to keep your team motivated? I mean, you just... Leadership move from the hip hop community. Okay, well, I guess the one that I answered earlier with each one teach one doesn't really make sense in this question. In this case, for motivating a team to keep moving forward, you got to understand all your players. You got to connect with everyone on a personal level. You know, everyone has different circumstances. Everyone's coming from different places. Some people, they've voyaged here like by themselves. Some people, they've had their family with them the whole time, and now they're learning these fundamental skills on how to adult, learning these fundamental skills on how to be a professional or be a respectable adult, and we got to hold them accountable. But I mean, if they're willing to just stay humble and work, I'm more than happy to pour into them. But the short answer is you just got to connect with each person, you know, find out what the greater good is for the team, right? What's going to keep moving the business forward, and then how do you work with your players to get that desired end result. What do you have to do to get that desired end result? Good job, Zach. He did it. I didn't make these cookies. Zach did. Good job, man. Let me see. They're a little tight, like super tight, so I think you could roll these a little. You can roll these a little less hard. Roll them lighter. Because when this cooks, I would hope that there's enough room for the air to penetrate on the inside, because these look very compact. So hopefully we'll find out. We'll find out. Let's see. We'll put this on high heat for about 5-6 minutes. Maybe we'll just do 5 minutes. Let the baking soda and those ingredients activate and it rises. Are we on time? Okay. When a customer hesitates, this is a good question. When a customer hesitates over your muffin prices, how do you show them the value's worth it? Bro, look at the rent here. I'm just kidding. You don't have to look at the rent here. But, I mean, they look good. They smell good. It's paired with coffee, beer, wine, cigars, places to sit outside, places to sit inside. We're playing R&B music, the environment, it's everything. And, you know, sometimes I'm at a restaurant, I'm like, geez, why are they charging $18 for this burger? And it's like, they gotta pay for this light bulb, they gotta pay for these cups, gotta pay for this rack, gotta pay for everything, the decor, and also the people working there. So, I mean, how do we keep running the business at an affordable rate? That's the cost of it. That's just the cost of the goods, man. That's just the cost of the goods. It is what it is. You know, and we were self-sabotaging ourselves too in the beginning here because we didn't know what our value was, or we were not confident in our value, and we were underpricing ourselves so much below the market because we want to be trustworthy, which is a good intention, but we were not making rent. We were not, we were not able to fulfill our bills because we felt guilty to charge what we were supposed to charge. And that's a painful learning lesson. You learn, but it's painful. Okay. Nice. Cookies are in. Set that timer. 5 minutes. Cool. Wait, what's that 6-minute timer for? Moving something down? I already moved it down. I'm a little confused. Okay, maybe I moved that item a little prematurely. Let's stop that one. Okay, well, it's just cleaning from here. Okay. What's one thing people get wrong about breaking that you set straight for your audience? Breakdancing, honestly, I'm just kidding. That's a whole nother topic. But at this point, whether you call it breakdancing, you call it breaking, that doesn't pay my bills. I just like to break. That's it. You can go ahead and contest as much as you want. You're not going to be able to control the people's words, what people think. You know, you still got to work tomorrow. You still just got to break. You still got to battle me. I'm just kidding. You don't have to battle me. I would make you do many rounds. Many rounds. Till it feels unpleasant. But it's a good growing pain. Okay. Natalia is about to walk in. We'll say hi. We'll greet her. Let's open the door for her. Make her life a little easier. Hola, buenos días. ¿Cómo está, amiga? Muy bien. Quite bien. Quite swell. Shame old thing. Now, we just clean at this point. Alright, question 13. As a husband, how do you stay present for your wife when business is pulling you apart? Well, we bring the business together. Thankfully, my wife is my business partner, and it can pull us separate ways because we have very different methods of doing the business thing, but we want the same thing. So we're never really torn apart. We may have different ideas, but we're always aligned. So it's cool. We cool. We cool. Yeah, we are super opposite people. Super opposite people, but we really want the same thing. We just want to chill. You know, I can tell a lot about a person by the way you go to a concert with them, or by the way you travel with them. You know, at the end of a flight, are they the type to clap when the plane lands? Or if you're at a music festival, do they want to go in the pit all the time? Or would they rather stay in the back? Both her and I would love to stay in the back. Yeah, I'd love to stay in the back. Love going to, you know, being in the atmosphere, but not being in the pit. Just kind of like people watching and listening to the music. Okay, let's label this. This is Blueberry Muffins, and today's date is a glorious October 25th. Okay. Hey, we're about to finish 15 questions and we can end this, and I think this is a solid video. What's one risky move, like a new business idea, that scares you but feels worth for stability? What's one risky move, like a new business idea? Oh, okay. Presently, like what scares me right now but feels worth it for stability? The risky move is this whole thing and like making this mental switch of getting over myself and being able to pump out like these longer form videos, chopping them up and systemizing it. Actually, the technical parts, right? Like recording, systemizing it, that's not the scary part. It's just staying consistent on this mental switch, because I would not like to go back to my self-doubtful part of myself. Next Saturday when we're recording while we're baking in the morning and I'm like freezing on camera. This has been fun. This has been a great experience being able to connect with you and speak to you directly from a place that's calm and collected. But yeah, that's the only thing that does kind of scare me, is now that I'm jumping further into this, week 2, it's, yeah, I just worry that I won't continue this. And I know that this reaches plenty of people and it helps people by sharing my message and sharing that it's okay to not have it together. But regardless of what you're going through, you're not defined by your circumstances and you just got to do it. That feels worth it for stability, and I just got to push on until next week. So there's my answer on that one. Number 15. This is the last one and we'll cut it. What's one moment from your b-boy days that reminds you why you grind as a provider and a leader? It was the moment that... What's up? I almost said player, brother. I know, I saw that. It's like, bruh. Okay. What's one moment from your b-boy days that remind you why you grind as a provider and leader? It was the day that I fell in love with the craft of breaking. It was when I was just transitioning into the town of Poway after my mom and my grandpa passed away. I was 12 years old. Breaking kept resurfacing, and finally being alone, my sister moved out. My dad was going through whatever he was going through, and after school getting dropped off back at home, I decided, like, am I gonna do homework? Am I gonna try this breaking thing? You know, I was breaking for attention, I was breaking for validation at that time. But now that I was like 2-3 months like exposure into like dabbling with flares and dabbling with moves. Small side quest. I got into a fight at school. Happened to be my wife's cousin. He said a yo mama joke. I took it too far, way far, but I used it as an excuse to get some attention. And, you know, I was the one who threw the first punch. And that led me to not only getting suspended for a couple days, but it led me to getting grounded from my dad, understandably so, right? And during that time I was grounded, all I had was just me, the floor, and just this breaking thing that I was doing. And I started learning move after move after move, right? I got my first invert, got my first like freeze stacks, I got an air baby. I learned how to do, you know, the most basic form of an air chair. My flares were connecting a little bit, and I was making real progress. And out of a time that I had zero control, I felt like I lost so much control because I didn't have my mom anymore. I didn't have the comfort of my grandpa anymore. I didn't have my family together anymore. I didn't have any emotional stability. I was able to work on this one thing, do it in a controlled environment, do it on my terms, make progress the way that I wanted, and when I wanted, how fast I wanted. And that level of control that I finally had not only made me a control freak, but it freed me from all the vulnerability and the uncertainty I had in my life. But if I can provide any space or any vessel for someone as a leader, as an operator, to find that level of control or get that kind of clarity that you are in control of your situation, you are in control of yourself, of your emotion, knowing that you are more than that circumstance, that's what pushes me as a leader. A little chopped and screwed, but I mean, that was a great question to finish it off. We answered the 15 questions. How did your b-boy crew support back in the day give you the strength to keep pushing as a cafe owner? What's one hip-hop principle like freestyling under pressure that helps run your insurance agency? When hiring for the cafe, how do you spot someone with the same grit you had as a young breaker? If an employee half-asses a shift, how do you call them out without killing their drive? What's one simple trick you use to make sure the cafe doesn't need you every second? How do you decide which menu item, like your banana bread, would become your moneymaker? As a dad, what's one sacrifice you make daily to provide for your daughter without losing yourself? How does the focus you learned from 17 years of breaking keep you calm during a slam cafe shift? What's one small tweak in your cookie recipe that turned them into a customer favorite? What's one leadership move from the hip-hop community you use to keep your team motivated? When a customer hesitates over your muffin prices, how do you show them the value's worth it? What's one thing people get wrong about breaking that you'd set straight for your audience? As a husband, how do you stay present for your wife when business is pulling you apart? What's one risky move, like a new business idea, that scares you but feels worth it for stability? And what's one moment from your b-boy days that remind you why you grind as a provider and leader? That was the moment from my breaking days that reminds me of why I grind as a provider and a leader. That clarity, that post-break clarity. Okay, are these done? Oh, that's why we had a 5-6 minute timer. Fuck. We have to put the cream cheese frosting. I should have labeled it. Now these are baking. Alright, that's fine. Let's pivot. I'm glad you're seeing this. We're gonna add some cream cheese frosting to this. I should have labeled that timer. That's fine. We can do this. We're fine. We are okay. Where is the spoon that I had set for this particular task? Gone? Gone. Alright, that's fine. We're okay. We are fine. This is fine. And it was right there. In front of me. Cream cheese frosting right here. We're gonna add a glob of it and then stab it down. Here. 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 Hey, if you stuck around for this YouTube video, if you have any questions, then let me know. I'm more than happy to respond. I would hope that in some point in the future we can do like those live call type of things, but I do know that these recordings take place around like 4 or 5 in the morning. But I'd like to interact with people in real time. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. I just remember back when we were doing this in the past, I wasn't on a consistent basis. Or some level of it, I didn't have it systemized, I wasn't intentional. I'd have like 2 people in here, which is cool. But you gotta start somewhere. And this is where we're starting. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments or leave a comment. I'm more than happy to answer for you. Okay, we got that. Now let's get this ingrained in there. Get the pumpkin cream inside. It's like, what's that timer for? Obviously, that's what this is for. Okay, almost done. Jeez, what the fuck? What are my timers doing? I gotta move those cookies down. Shit. Shit. Alright, cool. Let's add sugar. Brown raw sugar at the top piece. Another pack. Yeah? Yeah. Good shit. I have an interview on Monday with the manager. You go. You go, girl. Congrats. In advance. I'll give you future congrats when you're in there.
Yeah. They really like my paintings and stuff. They were actually very impressed.
How'd you connect with them?
Oh, you know the guy who tattooed Jasper's back? I messaged him about it, and then he told me to just go to the shop.
Oh shit.
You getting on Candy Friday?
You want to give off? Oh, that's Friday? Halloween? Shit, yeah. I remember when we first had Halloween over here, or Halloween week, we had a bucket of candy.
Still full?
No, all the homeless people would come in and just take it.
Oh, yeah, no, we gotta regulate that.
Yeah, they would go up to the register and be like, ooh, candy!
Yeah, no.
Thank you! Like, it should be offered after the drink. That's funny. Or after they purchase.
Are you gonna dress up?
Tala's gonna be bluey. So whatever can complement Bluey, sure. If we can find an adult size, whatever works with Bluey, then yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. But so far I have not seen one. She got her costume though. So cute.
Yeah, like one of my sisters, I have my own bag.
Okay, now let's start cleaning, labeling, and let's get out of here. Blueberry muffins. Today is the 25th. That's the best. What else did we prep? Chocolate walnut banana bread. These are walnuts, yeah. That's definitely chocolate walnut banana bread. Let's put it in a prep container. I think we're good. That was one of the better videos. That's the second one. Cool. Peace, guys. Thank you. Quick bonus video. I'm going to teach you how to make the tea on a matcha, how my lady likes it. We're going to start with 2 12-ounce cups, 4 pumps, sugar-free vanilla. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 pitcher. 2 pitchers. 200 degrees of hot water. 1, 2. 1, 2. Matcha. This is a teaspoon, I believe. We're gonna do subject to change, but this is how it's been tasting lately. 3 blue scoops. 1, 2, 3. We grab our electronic whisk. Use that 200 degrees of hot water to break down the matcha so it's not grainy. Get all the clumps out. Good morning. Can I trouble you for oat milk? Got some oat milk. Bring this up, not add too much milk because I also know we're gonna add ice. On these 12-ounce cups, I like to go just up below that first line. Voila, there are the Tiana matchas. Focus. No clumps, looking smooth. Those measurements are typically just good for ice with the syrup. Probably if you're gonna do it a hot one, you'd have to reduce the amount of syrup because the ice waters it down.